Speaking of stretched valuations, let's pull up Bharat Dynamics. The stock is currently trading about 2% higher right now, and it's up 80.7% in the year to date. I'm talking about 2024. We've got viewer Jagdish, who's bought at levels of 1,625, 100 shares, which is higher even than it is right now, Lancelot. So from that perspective, would you say that it makes sense to hold on for the long term, or do you think that it might make sense to get out even though you're seeing a bit of a loss and you wait for better opportunities down the road?
Yeah, I think considering that, the one is the stock has really run up. So it's, multiples in terms of PE are very, very high compared to what it has traded back in the past. But of course, one could argue that the situation has changed and now the company is likely to see more orders. But even these orders have to be received and they have to translate into profitability, and that profitability has to justify such an increased valuation. So I think given that whatever outlook you have for the next 2 to 3 years in terms of profitability, it's very difficult to justify the high valuations, and one should maybe book profits, because even one or two negative quarters can result in serious re-rating of the stock on the downside, and one could see significant losses then at that point in time. So it's better to exit and wait for reasonable levels for which one can accumulate the stock later.
All right. Lancelot says the viewer should exit Bharat Dynamics and then enter again at reasonable levels. The next question is from Bishal Banerjee. The stock is RVNL, that is Railway Vikas Nigam Limited. They have already bought in the shares at a price of 369, considerable profit for Bishal there. Aditya, coming to you on this one, would you suggest holding on to the stock? Do you see more upside? We have already seen the stock run up quite a bit in 2024, actually more than 100% in 2024 itself. Do you see more upside from here on? And this is from a longer term perspective.
Actually, whether you talk about defense space or you talk about railway, which are much talked about themes this year, and we have seen much hype around these sectors. Along with that, what accompanies is that overvaluation in defense. We talked about Bharat Dynamics previously, and now even railway qualifies for the same. So valuations are pretty expensive, and on charts also, these stocks are very overbought. They trade in very high overbought zones, whether you talk about any technical parameter. So these are prone to a good level of correction if there's any negative trigger. So at this level, I wouldn't suggest to hold on to these stocks, but it's a better idea to take chips off the table. These are one of the best levels to, book profit, I believe.